Times where we have to report on criminals breaking out of jail. Tonight is different. This time we're going to tell you about 3 men who tried to break into jail.
You heard that right. Eyewitness News broke the story at noon, and investigative reporter Mike Pearlstein has been uncovering all kinds of strange things about this bizarre story today.
In past years, the Orleans Parish jail has been notorious for contraband.
They try every trick in the book.
Everything from drugs to weapons to cell phones have been smuggled into the jail, sometimes with the help of deputies.
We actually apprehended the deputy with the contraband.
Who could forget the 2009 viral video showing inmates with drugs, alcohol, even a gun?
You can get what you want in here, Aaron. You know what I'm saying? Medication, pills, drugs, heroin.
But a smuggling attempt last night was stopped before it ever got off the ground. This man, Nicholas Celius, was booked with trying to bring cocaine, heroin, and marijuana into the jail. According to the sheriff's office, Celius and the other 2 would-be intruders tried to breach this section of wall, but they did not get far.
After receiving that information, our response team, within seconds, made it downstairs in an effort to apprehend those subjects.
Captain Jerry Martin says the unusual attempt to break into the jail with contraband is a sign that security is much tighter than in the past.
People try it all the time. At least they know now. We're looking, we're watching, we're alert. You know, don't try it.
One thing Celius did succeed at was getting himself inside the jail, where he is now facing drug possession charges. Now, Celius made his first court appearance this afternoon, and he's currently being held without bail on an arrest warrant out of Texas. The NOPD and Sheriff's Office have launched a joint investigation to try to identify the other 2 suspects.
Mike, thank you.